Booyah, and it's time for the Game Sports Show, the Twin Sault's only local regional national sports show. It's your host, David McKeag, inside Sioux Online and ONN TV studios. And I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, analyst. You know him here on Sioux Online, ONN TV, Alex Parr. Alex, thank you for coming on today, man. I know you were on at 6 to 2. You were on early this morning.
We were working a long one today, but I wouldn't want to be anywhere else than besides the Game Sports. It's been a while since we've done something together.
Yes, it has. We were off last week. Last week's edition was fantastic with myself and with Scott Nason and also with John Parko that came by. But, you know, we were supposed to have an action-packed crew tonight, but it's just you and I. But we still make it action-packed.
I say that's action-packed.
That is still action-packed.
Yeah.
Buckle up and get your popcorn ready. Like that.
I do like that.
We got lots to talk about today. We're going to jump into the Blue Jays' success, the prospect success. We're going to jump into athletes like getting paid too much money, and also going to jump into some basketball along with some debate news involving our favorite sport moments. Got lots to talk about here today. So let's tee it off.
Okay.
Let's swing it off. Let's launch it. Let's go all around the bases. And talk baseball.
Okay, that was a stretch, but I'm glad we got
I tried to get
I'm glad we got there.
I tend to do that. And we're going to talk about the Toronto Blue Jays right now. And the Blue Jays prospect pool has been amazing. The recent success of the Blue Jays, you know, they went into Baltimore. They had their riding a 5-game winning streak. They lost a couple in Baltimore, but they win against Tampa yesterday. Bo Bichette is an absolute monster. We're going to get into that in just a few moments. But the prospect's looking good right now, Alex.
Good? that is by far the biggest understatement I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Since Bo Bichette's call-up, they're 6-2. The guy tied the record for the longest hit streak in franchise history, not even for a rookie. Franchise history, 8 games. Guerrero's hitting .545 in his last 7 games. What happened? What happened? They traded away all their players with names, said, kids, let's give you a shot, and they jumped all over it and have been impressing the entire league.
You know what? He was saying that he was ready for a call-up. He was waiting for it. He got it, and he has definitely not thrown up his words and made himself look bad in any way. He's looked fantastic. He looks like a true leadoff hitter, a modern leadoff hitter. It's not like the old times. I want to say the thousands of the old times, but where you had a 5'9" Ben Revere who can steal bases. It's a guy who has pop in his bat, a guy who is exciting to watch, who's going to hit round trippers. He's going to get on base frequently, and Bo Bichette defines that.
One thing I've really noticed too with his game is he has squeezed out those extra bases when it's necessary. He's a great base runner. I've seen him hit some bloopers that looked like they'd be an easy single. He stretches those out to 2. He's got legs out there. And as you were saying, he wanted this called up, and as soon as he said it, kind of fluctuated a little bit, some of his stats in AAA. Got called up.
Mind blowing.
Mind blowing.
Now you got the nickname that everyone wants to call the kids is Denim because they have good genes. Bichette, Vlad, Biggio, just to name a couple. Okay, and I saw that comment on social media. I can't take credit for that. I wish I was, because I think that's perfect. The Denim Duo, I like that. Listeners can comment below if they like being called the Denim Duo. But Bo being there just shows the future of the Blue Jays is going to be so positive. Now, I will stress, this wasn't Shapiro or Atkins that got Bichette. It wasn't Shapiro and Atkins that got Guerrero or Biggio either, okay? This was a work of Alex Anthopoulos, okay? So I'm still kind of waiting to see if everything works out for the Ross Atkins and the Shapiro era in Toronto. I know they just had a massive trade deadline, okay? Marcus Stroman gets traded, okay? He goes to New York Mets to get number 4 and 6 prospect with the Mets. Okay, you trade Sanchez and Biagini to the Astros. What happens when you trade them? They combine for a no-hitter. Okay, and now you actually have Derek Fisher, who you get back from the Astros, who embarrassingly missed a pop fly in Baltimore and got left the field early. The Blue Jays did make moves at the deadline, and it did sort of looks promising for the future. And it's one of those types of deadlines where you won't be able to tell right now. It's going to be something you find out later on.
Well, a lot of people from both sides didn't like the Stroman trade. Yeah. And I think that's probably your best case scenario with a trade is when both of them are unhappy. They wanted a little bit more, but I think you probably got what you could get. Stroman, with him, your back's against the wall. Everybody knew he was gone.
Yep.
But to see how Stroman handled being traded to the Mets.
He was quite angry at his management.
Yeah, throwing a little temper tantrum in the dugout. Yeah, No.
Reminded me of my 5-year-old niece if she doesn't get what she wants. Just kidding. I love my niece. I'm just kidding. She does not do that. But besides the point, the Marcus Stroman, people say they should have capped them, should have not. And I've been asked and I waited. I did talk about it on radio briefly, but I waited to say it right now. I think it was a good move to trade Stroman. Here's why. Yes, I understand the youth point that he could be here, but he's also was around at the time with Mount Crushmore, okay? And everyone knows Mount Crushmore is Encarnacion, Bautista, Tulowitzki, Donaldson, etc. Okay? Right now, Stroman had that mentality. He wants to win now. Okay? He has that. He's not accustomed to this. Doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild. And by the time the Blue Jays get better in terms of being a playoff team, he's going to be 30 plus, 31, 32, whatever it may be, if it's 3 to 5 years from now, and he might be out of that prime. And right now, he has miraculous numbers to trade him for. And I like what Shapiro and Atkins did. The one thing that I'll say really that I liked is they went to the Yankees and said, I want Garcia, or maybe we want Clint Frazier too. No? Okay, we don't want to give us your top prospects. We're going elsewhere.
See ya.
And that's where Stroman moving on, I think, is a good thing. Now you don't have a lot of leadership inside the locker room. You still got Smoke. You got some guys that are part of that run previously in 2015, 2016, etc. But people are questioning. I like the youth direction.
I think this is the rookies' locker room now. Yeah. I think almost shades to the first year Vegas Golden Knights, where you didn't know who you had, you didn't know what you had, but they were there and they were having fun together, and it just shows when they go out there and play that they're enjoying it. It's showing in their stats. They have no expectations. Go out there and play ball.
Definitely, and especially Derek Fisher, the guy they brought in, was a highly touted prospect when he came into the MLB. So it definitely gives him a chance to play. Everyone wondered why we got Teoscar Hernandez for Francisco Liriano. I think that trade's kind of worked out as well. Like, things have worked out for the Jays with this prospect pool, and everyone thought we lost them. When we lost the prospect depth, when we traded Hoffman, we traded everyone away for Tulowitzki and for Price. But at the end of the day, we didn't. We found, look who's playing, Bichette, Guerrero, Biggio. I love what they have. It's exciting to watch.
They're really lucky, too, that they kept the right guys and traded not necessarily the wrong guys. Those guys can still go on and be superstars in this league.
Yeah.
But right now, those trades aren't looking like they're biting them too bad. The Derek Fisher trade, though, that's one where I'm like, maybe you could have got a little
Aaron
bit
Sanchez
more.
and Vigini with the no-hitter.
Right,
oh,
I mean,
my goodness.
A lot of people call him a quadruple A guy, somebody that's too good for triple A, but not really enough to keep on an MLB roster.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that fly ball. That will never happen again.
Hopefully it works back out for him.
I think the mindset of this team is go out there, have fun, and I think once that kind of comes into his mindset and the pressure kind of goes away a bit more, he's going to be perfectly fine.
Definitely. Now, quickly before we go to break, Vlad Guerrero gets Player of the Week honors again. It's like we've seen this before. This guy has better numbers than what Mike Trout did when he was 19. Not saying he's going to be Mike Trout, but he's looking pretty fantastic, Jays fans. What do you think? Comment below. Dave McCaig with Alex Parr here. We're going to take our first break here on the Game Sports Show. When we come back, we got some more discussion in terms of athletes. Do they get paid too much? You'll hear what we have to say right after these messages. Welcome back to the Game Sports Show. Dave McCaig joined by Alex Parr, the Twin Cities' only local regional national sports show inside Sioux Online, ONN TV, getting into part 2 of today's show inside the studios. Now, Alex, we talked about baseball in part 1. This part 2 we've talked about actually on radio, most recently yesterday on our ESPN 1400 show that you can hear on thegamesportshow.com. So make sure you check that out with myself, Scott Nason, Butch, and EJ. But I want to bring it to the table here today for TV, and also to get interactive with the viewers, okay? Ooh. And also, this is going to be a topic that we only have a certain amount of time to talk about. We could talk about this for hours, okay? But we're going to tease about this now, and we're going to talk more about it on our shows this week. So we're jumping right into it. Do athletes get paid too much money? Okay, everyone's going to sit out there, roll their eyes. This is a very common talked about topic. Now, we're going to get into it in a different kind of perspective, okay? Athletes are getting paid a lot of money. Okay, you can look at Kawhi Leonard, look at the guy who just signed with the Clippers, making like $35 million a year. He's getting 1.25 or in between 1.2 to 1.9 million dollars per every 2 weeks. But look at the highest paid players in each sport. McDavid in the NHL, Steph Curry in the NBA, Russell Wilson in the NFL. Also, you have Steven Strasburg in the MLB, and in soccer, you have my favorite soccer player, Lionel Messi, okay, making $92 million, okay? So these are what they are making a year with their teams. Alex, your opinion, do the athletes get paid too much? Then I'll throw my point after.
It is a business. Sports are a business. This is what it comes down to. Why don't hockey players make as much as basketball players? Why do football players make so much money compared to pro lacrosse players? It's because if people want to go and support them and shell money to buy jerseys and shell money to buy tickets, guess what? That league's got more money. That league's got more money to play the star players that you're paying to go and see. That's as simple as it breaks down to. And this argument always drives me nuts. The only reason why players are getting paid that much is because there's people that are going there to support them. If you are the star player of a basketball team and your team makes $1 billion, how much of that are you entitled to? Most of it. A good amount of that, because you're the reason why there's jerseys with your name on them and there's people that are wearing them in those seats or watching them at home. And it just breaks down to who is the reason that there's people paying and keeping this business alive? The players.
That's where everyone gets the question is, how can people justify that they can get paid this much when there's third world countries or there's people that are poor? That's a whole other side that's outside the world of sports, okay? The reason why teams can afford this, and you hit the nail right on the head there, okay? We pay to sit there. We buy the $12 beers for all the sponsors that you potentially Molson or Labatt or, hey, maybe Northern Superior wants to throw in their own thing.
Gotta be Northern
Doesn't matter
Superior.
what division that is getting, they're getting sponsorships to have that, okay? Everywhere you go, every arena, they have a sponsor. Look at the GFL Memorial Gardens. They own the rights to that arena. Scotiabank Arena and with Toronto Maple Leafs and also the Toronto Raptors, the highest bid for a sports arena, okay? That is absolutely amazing. But that is the money that's being generated into that particular company, right? So they have the money to throw at their players. Look at the Rogers Media with the Rogers Center, okay? Everyone says, oh, the Blue Jays have money. Okay, why don't they spend it? Maybe because they're a bit smarter. But besides that, you have all these certain potential sponsors that already are in place. And we are paying for, like you said, those jerseys. We're paying to the tickets. We're paying the $500 to sit glass level at Scotiabank Arena. Okay.
If you're watching at home, you've got commercials that run all game.
Yes. And they're wondering, okay, do the taxpayers pay that? Somebody come up and ask me, do we pay that salary? We do, but it's not coming off my paycheck that I make every 2 weeks in my full-time job, okay?
Right.
If it was, I wouldn't be able to afford half the stuff that I have or potentially the suit that I'm wearing, okay?
Right.
So, you don't have the taxes coming off that paycheck. You have athletes making a lot of money, okay? And it's all because of the business side that they are being successful for, okay? And that is where it all branches off to. But it also, I will say, that are they getting paid too much though? Yes. Okay, I get it. Yes, they are. Okay, when you have Kawhi Leonard making $35 million, you have Lionel Messi, who we just showed on our graphic, made $92 million.
That's not including endorsements.
And that's not look at LeBron James, even after endorsements, can imagine what he's making. Okay, Sidney Crosby when he first got into the league. All that. Okay, money. It is, but it's not that we're paying that, but we're supporting that by buying the merchandise and watching.
Yes, and I'm gonna walk on some coals here. But the reason why NHL doesn't make as much money as the MLB, they don't have as much revenue. The reason why men's soccer makes more than women's soccer is because there's more people going and watching the men's soccer. And for anybody out there that says, why don't women make as much money? It's just because they don't have the fans going. If you believe that strongly, go buy a Christine Sinclair jersey. Do you know how awesome that would be? Yep. Go support the games, the training games. Go support the club games when they're playing. If you want to see the change, you have to be the change in that sport at the same time.
And now in the MLB, they have 162 games in a year. Okay, they have more home games. Okay, and the tickets are not that far off from the NHL. It matters where you are.
Depends on the market.
Toronto, right. It depends, right? It depends on the team's popularity, and Toronto's a perfect example for that. Look at right now, they're not as hot as what they were in 2015, 2016.
When they were selling out every game.
50,000 a game, right? They were making an astronomical amount of money. But at the end of the day, they're getting paid that by the team's success. And that is some sports where other sports like hockey have a salary cap and they have the accessibility to have that money to get access to. Okay. Okay, now I would like to see a contract or something in place, sure, where they have to donate a certain percentage to charities. Ooh. Okay, or do something. Ooh. Why not do that? Okay, but at the end of the day, that's not your money or my money. That's their money. And we also had some discussions with some people that they also get a pension after they're done playing. Okay, it's not like they're making a handful of millions of dollars and then they're done. Okay, it is strenuous on the body. It is, absolutely. But you are still getting paid a lot of money. You're making $92 million. You could save the world with that money, in my opinion. That's like Tony Stark dollars. You want to get into some fairy tale dollars there. But at the end of the day, athletes, if they make too much and we're complaining, we're the reason why they're making that money.
Right, and like you said, do they make too much money? To put a ball in a hoop, to put a black disc in a net? Yeah, that's astronomical money. The only reason it's like that, economics, and it's as simple. You can take a business class in high school and it would work out for you. You'd be able to figure it out why they get paid so much.
And getting paid so much, they do work hard. They provide entertainment. They've earned what they can, and they're getting and maximizing their value to what they're entitled to based on the market of their team or their sport overall. And soccer pays the highest because they actually get the most viewers. Look at over there in Europe. It's absolutely insane what their viewer count is.
And I know for some smaller leagues, they say, oh, why doesn't this player get paid as much as this player in another league? Well, if you gave that player that much money, that could cripple the entire league. It's why the CWHL, you don't see NHL salaries in there because you don't have NHL fans attending. You don't have NHL endorsement deals. You don't have that kind of thing. Yep. Do women deserve to get paid just as much? Absolutely. But they need to have the support backing them. So let's hope that CWHL comes back soon.
Definitely. Now, like I said, we're the reason why that they're getting paid that amount of dollars. And now you wonder why, and you ask me, or you ask Alex, or anybody, why do these athletes get paid so much?
And not the anchors? I know. That's the question I want answered too.
Look inside your wallet and your bank account. You'll answer your own question. See, Alex, that's going to wrap it up for part 2. We could have talked for a lot longer there.
Yeah, get me fired up on this topic. I'll go forever.
We'll save that for radio this week.
Absolutely, man.
We're going to jump to break. Part 3 coming up here on the Game Sports Show. Welcome back to the Game Sports Show. Dave McKeag joined by Alex Parr here, part 3 of the Game Sports Show. And we had some action-packed discussion. It's been awesome. We didn't get heated, though, on part 2. People were expecting maybe we get a little bit heated.
Yeah, I guess my whole rant staring down the camera was probably as heated as I'll get.
Oh, I felt the steam. I felt the heat there. I know that's awesome.
That's as steamy as I'll get for this one. Now, I'll keep it a little bit cooler. Just a little bit, though, because this one's going to get me fired up, too.
This one's good. Basketball. We're going to talk about basketball, and we're going to talk about the FIBA basketball tournament coming up. Canada's basketball participation. This tournament has some stars missing, Alex.
You know what? No, I'm going to get fired up this one, too. I'm going to get fired up this one, too. I promise you. FIBA basketball. Canada basketball. Camera, switch to me, please, Jacob. I need to talk to the fans here. This is probably the most pivotal year of Canada basketball since the Vince Carter era.
Why is that?
Because the Toronto Raptors won an NBA championship. Now, these guys that are playing and representing the Maple Leaf on their jersey, thank you. Because in 10 years from now, there's going to be kids that watch the Raptors win the championship and watch this same team and said, I want to be like those guys on TV. Tristan Thompson, Dwight Powell, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, just to name a few. When you were a kid, who did you look up to in Canadian basketball? Vince Carter? Okay, I can understand that. American, Steve Nash even. But what did Steve Nash do? Steve Nash went and represented the country. What are you guys doing? You're sitting at home. You're what? I mean, I'll give Jamal Murray and I'll give RJ Barrett a pass because they are injured. They're not going to play a game, but they're still going. You guys didn't even give the team that. Disappointed in you boys. Not mad, disappointed.
Definitely disappointed. Now, Andrew Wiggins.
Oh.
Andrew Wiggins as well, former first overall pick in the draft. Okay. Now, you also have other players missing as well. Kelly Olynyk as well. We have some great talent when it comes to Canadian basketball now. And you said it perfectly. Kawhi Leonard and the Toronto Raptors. I stress Kawhi Leonard because you know what? He was obviously a big.
We wouldn't have done it without him. We wouldn't have done it with DeMar DeRozan. Boom, said it.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. And no offense to Kyle Lowry, Serge Ibaka, Fred VanVleet. You guys all played fantastic. Okay, but Kawhi Leonard is the reason why I put us over the edge against the Golden State Warriors, okay? And he was all heart. And he played his heart out for this country. But I'll tell you some people that aren't playing for their heart out for this country. You just mentioned them. Okay, and now you have players that are not going to be a part of this tournament as well. You have Chris Boucher. You have Canada invited 29 players, as we have noted here. And Canada plays exhibition games against Nigeria in Toronto and in Winnipeg before flying overseas to participate in the tournament. You know what? You have USA, who doesn't have LeBron James playing as well.
And what's with that?
Apparently, it's
just the thing. FIBA, they don't want to go play for their country. I mean, so many Americans too. They didn't go either.
No.
Now,
LeBron James most notable, obviously, right?
I know this is going to be there's going to be huge differences in between basketball and hockey, especially in Canada.
Yep.
But imagine if, I guess Andrew Wiggins for Canadian basketball would be the Connor McDavid, right? Just the kind of the best Canadian basketball player right now.
Yeah,
just,
okay.
Just right. I mean, you can probably nitpick
not
that.
Same talent level. Yeah.
You can nitpick that all you want.
Yeah.
But imagine Connor McDavid go, nah, not feeling it. I don't really want to go. Are you kidding me? It is an honor to play for your country. It's an honor to wear red and white. And I don't understand why FIBA basketball is any different. Is it because they go, well, it's not the Olympics, so I don't want to go? Go and play. People that get eliminated from the playoffs in the NHL still go and play the World Championships because they love hockey and they love their country that much.
See, in hockey, look how upset people were that they couldn't go to the Olympics last year. Alex Ovechkin was one. Washington had to put a restraint on him so he didn't retire to go play for Russia. Okay, and last I checked, Washington won the Stanley Cup that year. So obviously him staying put was fantastic. But overall, you go play and represent your country. There is nothing better than that in any type of sport. You cement your legacy as a champion, 100% like Kawhi Leonard did with the Raptors as a franchise. But to win a championship or medal for your country is sometimes more and more endearing, more motivation. I've been told by people that won the Stanley Cup, not going to mention their names, and no, they're not from the Sioux, so don't nitpick that. And then talk to people from Southern Ontario that I have a connection with. They would have rather played for their country than win the Stanley Cup. Now that's hockey. Basketball is a little bit different. I understand Larry O'Brien Trophy, the FIBA Cup. I understand it's different, but to still represent your country, it is something that you should take pride in doing. And a lot of this talent not being there is so upsetting, and it doesn't show the best players on the court. And that's the whole point of this tournament, is the best players available to play.
A World Cup, the best players in
the world.
The world. Now, I do want to give kudos to RJ Barrett and Jamal Murray. I only lightly touched on them for being injured and still going to the tournament. Thank you, guys. Especially RJ Barrett and Jamal Murray. They're both
RJ Barrett was just drafted.
They're so young, and they know how pivotal they are to the future of Canada basketball.
Which is promising, by the way.
Very promising. But this isn't going to do anything for Canada basketball. What's going to do it is commitment from those players saying, I want to play. And like I said, potentially the most pivotal year in Canadian basketball could have a poop stain on it with these players not going.
Absolutely. I love that analogy, too. I'm going to cement it at that. Okay, we'll talk more about this week. The last point that we're going to jump into before we get into our thumbs up and thumbs down.
Don't even want to look at that anymore.
Thumbs up and thumbs down this week. That's after we talk about our favorite sports moment as an individual.
Okay.
And as someone who's viewed the sport. It could be local or professional.
All right.
I'm throwing you under the bus first to go first. Again, the question is that, your favorite sports moment as an athlete, and then your favorite sports moment as a viewer.
Well, I'm about to get exposed, Dave.
Uh-oh.
Organized sports, never did them.
Okay, ouch.
Look at that. So played some public school stuff, so maybe winning a dodgeball championship.
Yeah, buddy.
Not going to go there, but for being a fan.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
The 5 Ds of dodgeball.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. Now, that's how I won my championship, of course. Got to remember the 5 Ds.
Yeah.
But for being a fan, the Sioux has offered quite a few really, really exciting moments. I mean, the Greyhounds have done it a lot.
Yeah.
For me as a fan, seeing the Greyhounds, and I believe it was 2008, Simmons, Godfrey kind of year, I was watching the game where they were clinching for the division title, and I was super pumped. I didn't go to a ton of games, but when I went, it was awesome. I remember it being overtime. Wayne Simmons hits the post, and everybody erupted thinking it went in. Oh, no, it didn't. It went, A minute later, not even a minute, seconds later, Godfrey pots it. It went from ecstatic to just so low to ecstatic in the span of 5 seconds. That's what's crazy in sports, the emotions that they give you. For being proud of being a Sioux sports fan, Kyle Dubas being the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs, for Ron Francis being the general manager of the Seattle To Be Names, that's something I'm proud of.
To Be Names.
Yeah, that's something I'm proud of, just to say that our little city, 3 hours away from any other big city of only maybe 75,000 people, has made a huge legacy for themselves in their respective sports.
You went the local route. I like that.
I did.
Okay, myself, I'd have to say scoring my first junior career hockey goal. Okay, that'd
Take
be
me
myself.
through it. Can you take me through it?
I could. Went down the ice on the left side, wrist shot, top ched over the blocker side, and I celebrated hard doing my patented arm out, leg up celebration, yelling woo, and I never looked back during the celebration.
I didn't yell booyah.
Yeah, I didn't yell booyah. I yelled woo at the time. It was an evolution to that point from doing the booyah.
Gotcha.
Locally, I gotta go with watching Jeff Carter with the Sioux Greyhounds. I've watched him score all the time. That was just a great moment. There's a playoff goal in particular that it really stands out at the Old Garden. Seeing the place erupt that made me love hockey more. In terms of the professional route, there's so many. I can't even really pick one. Jose Bautista's bat flip has to be up there with myself. I'd have to say as well, Toronto Maple Leafs is Matt Sundin's 500th goal. Stuff like that. You know, that's great to see. But the big one that stands up to me right now,
I know it.
The Toronto Raptors winning the championship this year.
What about the 2010 gold medal at the Vancouver Olympics, excuse me. You hear that call, my goosebumps immediately. I know exactly where I was.
Goal.
What a storybook ending to that year.
Their golden goal. Now that was our favorite moments. We bet you we could talk more about it, but we're getting out of time. Thumbs up this week quickly. Gonna go to Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
If I'm giving one, it's going to the whole Blue Jays. You guys have been killing. Can't wait to see you guys play Thursday.
Like that. Dave McKeag joined here by Alex Parr. You've been listening to the Game Sports Show inside Sioux Line ONN TV studios. Until next time, we will talk to you sometime again. Next time will be next week on Tuesday on ONN TV. Make sure you have a great rest of your week. Booyah.